Gentlemen, we're going to start with 3 minutes opening remarks. We'll start with Alan, please. 3 minutes. Say as you will.
Thanks so much for being here. I'm going to start with qualifications. Qualifications are important. I'm a Harvard College graduate. I graduated from the University of Michigan Law School. Early on, I became a member of 4 state bars, including California. My career was as a trial and appellate lawyer, largely in the federal system. My cases were mostly complex civil cases, and so over the years I was exposed to many financial experts and many engineers in different areas. As of today, I now have 10 years of experience in government in California. Early on, I was a law clerk or research clerk to the Honorable Stanley Mosk, who was a former Attorney General of the state, and at the time I worked for him, a justice on the California Supreme Court. At the county level, I've now served 4 years on the board of the NVTA and the Flood Control District. In St. Helena, I was a planning commissioner for 4 years, and now I've been mayor nearly 4 years. And also, in the last 10 years, 1 year I served as chair of the Napa County Grand Jury. I've also served on many government committees here in Napa County over the years. 3 of those dealt with water issues. In terms of Napa County, I first experienced Napa County right after law school. I was working for California Rural Legal Assistance on Indian legal issues, and I traveled through Napa County on a number of occasions. I would marry my wife Sarah, and she's both a Coombs and a Dunlap, meaning her great-grandfather was the founder of the city of Napa, and her great-grandfather on the Dunlap side was sheriff of Napa County, and there's a long record of distinguished government service by both families here in Napa County. Over the years, while my career was in Washington, D.C. based, we were visiting Napa County very frequently as my wife's parents retired to a family property in Coombsville, and my youngsters had the wonderful pleasure of visiting them frequently over those years. Very briefly, I'm endorsed by Congressman Thompson. I'm endorsed by Supervisor Dillon. I'm endorsed by all Napa County mayors for re-election, and of course I'm endorsed by many, many residents of our wonderful city. In the next term, if re-elected, I hope to focus on really 3 issues: a new city hall, downtown revitalization, and housing. And my time is up.
Jeff, 3 minutes, please.
Thanks. My name's Jeff Ellsworth. I grew up in St. Helena. My parents had a shop in town called the Complete Winemaker, building and importing winery equipment. So I grew up in the wine industry here. I went to school here. I went to the elementary school. I went to the RLS, and I'm going to get some groans when I say this, but I went to Justin to high school.
Cheers to a minimum, ladies and gentlemen.
I had a few friends who were going down there, and I talked my parents into letting me go there. But it was a good experience because it broadened my horizons at an early age. My brother went to school at St. Helena High School. My girlfriend went to school here, so I remained tied into the community. And when I was growing up, I came to many events here at this theater, and this was in the 70s and 80s, never thinking I'd be sitting up here running for mayor one day. But here I am. And I went off to school after growing up here in Oregon. I became an artist and a performer, traveling around the country, working out of St. Helena and Los Angeles as a performance artist and a painter. I had a background with my father as an engineer working on systems, winery systems, so I always approached whatever I did, whether it was an art or performance, with sort of a systematic approach. About 5 years ago, I was in St. Helena, and somebody said they felt that local governance was not responding to the community as well as it could, and there were questions about oversight in our financial department and water department. Now, growing up with my dad, I worked with a lot of flow systems, pumps, presses, drip irrigation. I also worked for a man installing sprinkler systems, and so I knew a lot about water and flow. And so when I started looking at the city issues, particularly with water, I felt that we could do a lot better job with oversight, with water. Now, water is a commodity that St. Helena sells, and we inventory as well, so there's a financial component about water oversight. So that was one of the first things that brought me in. But then I realized that our city can do a lot better in terms of infrastructure, housing, how we deal with downtown, how we deal with providing services for all spectrums of our community. I feel that much of our community is feeling underserved. People your age, people younger than your age, seniors, residential community, business community here, for years, since I've been involved, at least the last 5 years, has felt and communicated to me that they felt underserved and the local government can do better. So 2 years ago, I ran for council. I've been on council for 2 years, asking every question I can to understand the system. I've been endorsed too by many, many residents on the ground here who feel it's time for new energy in City Hall, and that I've got the background and the experience to do it.
Okay, 3 minutes runs fast, doesn't it, Jeff?